Hello everyone, Rashon here. Shout out to the almighty Egg Gang. Got this channel of Tevin here because on Saturday he's going to restream the DSP Save the House stream. So he's going to be on that. It's going to be hot for whoever wants to mess with that. So basically, shout out to Lucas and shout out to Kara as well. They gave me the idea to make this video. I understand Lucas is a bonehead, but sometimes he really does come through. Now, people have wondered, this is a pretty raw video, so if I ramble, I apologize, but this is, people have asked me for quite a while, Rashon, why do you always play NBA 2K18? As you can see right there. And usually, I always give a bad answer because there's really no way to answer this question in one single sentence. So now that's what I'm going to do. Now let me just run down the game modes here. I don't want to make this about CNR because, I don't want this to be a CNR aimed video, but basically there are many different ways to play CNR. Hitman, taxi driver, cop, blah, blah. Same thing in 2K. There are a couple of game modes here. You got MyCareer, My Team, My GM, My League. Now, most of the people that play NBA 2K play MyCareer. Basically, you make your own player and try to be, an all-star, be the best player you can ever be. It's got a storyline and all this crap. But I've played sports games for quite a long time, so I'm not really into this storyline into sports games type thing. I mean, I'm sorry, you play Grand Theft Auto for that, Assassin's Creed. I don't really understand the appeal behind the storyline in a sports game, but if that's you, that's you. Now, some people have figured out that the reviews for this game are awful. And I'll keep it on 2K18, I guess. I should go to 2K19. But basically, most of the negative reports all have something to do with MyCareer. This guy says that the developer is nothing but greedy scum, and pretty much that is aiming at the microtransactions because, I'll give you an example here. Let me get to my league leak. So, for example, let's look at this guy's ratings right here. So every player has their own attributes. So when you make a MyCareer player, your own player, you have to spend VC, which is visual currency or something like that. You play games based on how well you do with it. So you get currency so that you can increase these ratings. But I could be wrong. I think past a certain threshold, you have to go through microtransaction crap in order to, get these ratings very high. So at that point, it's a big money rub. So that's basically what this guy is saying. Reason why he plays this game is because it's the only basketball game even worth playing. And he's basically saying do not buy future titles because they're money grubbers. They're huge money grubbers. Now, this guy says the game is heavily dependent on microtransactions, which is fully related to, as you can see, MyCareer. Okay. This guy says the shooting mechanics are awful. This guy says his 99 overall player doesn't make very many shots. Basically, 99 overall is the maximum rating in the game. This guy made a player in MyCareer that is supposed to be able to hit many three-point shots, but he can't do it because the game is screwed. And this guy basically says trash. And this guy is basically going straight at MyCareer, and the game crashes. I don't know what that's really about. But pretty much, I don't know what the percentages are, but most of the people that play this game do MyCareer. And that's where 2K makes all of their money. Now, my team is kind of similar. You kind of draw cards for great players and you play against people online or something like that. Not interested in that whatsoever. So, what I do here is do my league. Now, in my league, instead of controlling or making one player, you can actually control the entire league. Okay, so I'm scrolling through all the teams right here. I've got control of all 30 teams. And basically, you know, you go at the rosters, you go in the game plans, you're able to change the minutes of all the different players, and you know, you control how much minutes players play. I mean, it's very simple. But before that, let me get on people that say, "Hey, Rashon, you only have like 6 achievements." So let me just show you. So all of the achievements I have right here, and I don't play this game for achievements. I mean, I don't care about that. All these have to do with my GM and my league. This is my league, obviously. So we go down here, and a lot of these, of course, I could do if I really wanted to, you know, throw a long pass, a spin move, and all this. I could do this offline, you know, and these are a couple online ones. But if you look down here, most of these achievements, like, pay attention, most of these achievements have to do with MyCareer. Look at this. MyCareer, my courts, my team. These, I mean, most of these are pretty much, you make your own player and you do all of these. You have to grind at the game to be able to get these achievements. And do I want to do that just to satiate fags who just don't get it? No. Absolutely not, you know. I don't get it. I would rather be able to control every team, you know, make their next moves, blah, blah, and all this, than to actually, you know, waste my time with one player and all this crap. Now, some people would wonder, what is the point of controlling all 32 teams if you're just gonna win anyway? Well, I guess you have a point there. I mean, I could control 15, so I could try to get those 15 that are one of them to win that. But I'm a freak, I guess. I'm a control freak. Now, some others may say, Rashon, why do you not simulate the games instead of going here? Hold on. Instead of going here and switching it to CPU and letting them play, why not you just simulate the game? And I'll tell you why. And it's pretty obvious once I say this. It's because games that are simulated instantly compared to games that actually play out don't have similar results. Like, for example, let's go to this example right here. So this was the only day of the season where I simulated games because I didn't know there were games on this day. Let's look at JJ Redick. He's a fine player. He's a fine player. Now, this is the game right here that was simulated. He scored 32 points. But all of the rest of the other games were played out. And you see how much points has he gotten during all these? Not even close to 32. 32 is his season high, so the games wouldn't even result or play the same way. Obviously, that's pretty intuitive, to be quite honest with you. And this isn't the first game that does this. I mean, you look at something like Soccer Manager. Now, I was trying to find a video of Soccer Manager where, you know, basically you can only see dots on the screen. But you look at this guy right here, for example. I don't see any player icons I mean, there are, but I don't see him quite physically playing the game because there's no, rings under their feet or anything. But what he basically does, at the dead ball, he looks at all the stamina levels, he sees what's going on, and then he goes and makes substitutions and all of this. That's pretty customizable, guys, right? Pretty customizable. So, listen, you can do anything of what you want with this game, All the people that give this a bad rap and, bad reviews, they could find a different way to play the game, and if they don't, well, I mean, that's on them. But the decline of this series has not affected me whatsoever. Alright, so I want this game to load, and then I kind of want to go into other stuff. So I want to get a calculator up here. I gotta watch out what I type here, because it might not be very good. So some have also wondered, Rashon, how do you have so many hours in NBA 2K18? Well, here's the thing. So basically, the entire season plays like this. I just want to get the game up in the background just to make sure, to illustrate, to make sure it has some sense, I guess. So basically, it's a 58 game season, and there are 30 teams, so each team plays a pair of games, so you have 30 by 2, it's 15. So basically, there are 870 games in a season, a regular season, and on average, each game lasts about 75 minutes, and you divide that by 60, so it takes just above 1,000 hours to finish a regular season. All right, that's where all the hours come from. And also, I think a hurdle that people really can't understand is that, they say, hey, Rashon, obviously if the game is, playing, then you have to watch it. So, here's the thing. Now, I understand I ain't bragging here. But, I like multitasking, you understand? You got all these tabs up here. You got tabs up here, and down there, blah, blah, but let's look at the task manager, alright? Which I thought I had open. So, 2K18 right now is using 10% CPU, and this is an 8-core 16-thread processor, right? So 50% usage is 8 cores. 25% is 4 cores. So this is using 2 cores, guys. 3 cores. 15% is 3 cores, alright? So if this is only using 15% of the CPU, then why not? Why shouldn't I be able to have this in the background and, watch DSP, for example, and edit a video? This is the new Rate My Chase that is coming out pretty soon. I can edit the Rate My Chase while 2K's in the background, and usually I get more FPS than, oh wait, see, look, the FPS went up, so we're getting 100 FPS right here, almost, and we can still do what we want here, so why not? Basically, this would be the same whether or not the game is running or not, so, I don't really understand. Now, oh, and here, one more thing. So, another thing is, why the CPU versus CPU? Rashon, are you the only person that does this?
Guess what?
Wrong.
Wrong.
There are people, as you can see right here, that try to find the best sliders, the best CPU versus CPU sliders. They play not play, but they simulate, not simulate, but they do something like this. It's kind of simulated, but it's really not. They go through games like this to see how close the sliders can get to an actual realistic game. So they play an amount of games, and they tweak the sliders a bit, and they come up with stuff like this. See, CPU versus CPU sliders. So there is actually a niche part of people who have this game that actually do this, And here you have a guy right here. He is, requesting for a set of CPU versus CPU sliders, and this forum has something like that. Now, I guess the last question is, does this ever at any point lag or destroy your computer? Now, I guess it can. Like, for example, you look at the graphics card settings right here. Right now we're using 4.7 gigabytes of the 1070 Ti. So basically, whenever Sony Vegas is on this mode here, where it uses GPU acceleration to make the playbacks faster, because sometimes I'd want that, it does use a good amount of, a chunk of the GPU. So, for example, if I were to open a second instance of this and wait for that, we're gonna most likely see the GPU usage go up. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let me see. Okay, it didn't. Hold on, let me do something else here. I'm sure someone's gonna find something that I don't want to be shown here. Yeah, there you go. So you see the memory usage went up. So pretty much if I open enough of these, and if the memory usage goes up to 8 gigabytes, basically everything using the graphics card will crash. So this game will crash, Sony Vegas will crash. That's really the only time it gets in the way of anything. As you can see here, like we have 2 Sony Vegas files up. We got all these Chrome tabs. We got somebody messaging me on Discord right now. We have NHL 2003 in the background, by the way, which is doing the same exact thing. This game's like 15 years old, 16, 18 years old, 17 years old. And we're still getting 95 FPS. So, basically, guys, the next time that you see me playing NBA 2K18, I'm not actually playing the game. I'm managing the game. And there are times where I'll want to watch a portion of the game, or, the game will sit in the background while, browsing, watching SnitTube, watching DSP, or Tevin. Oh, one more thing is, you can have 2 Steam games running at the same time, and it'll still be pretty well. I tried to run 2K18 at the same time as Ass Creed Odyssey, but it didn't really work. Like, Ass Creed had good FPS, like, it would stutter sometimes. But 2K18 pretty much would cripple, like it would go 5 FPS in the background. So, there are times when you put some intensive things running with each other, it's not going to work very well. I guess if you're playing something like Poker Night or Danganronpa, because those games don't take a lot to run, then they'll run together pretty well. But here it is, guys. If you want to ask me a question or something, like something else, like what is the point of this? There's no point. There's no point to anything. And this video has been longer than I really wanted to, because I don't really know what to say. And it's rambled, but if you can understand what's going on, it's what it is. It's what it is. Oh, and also, this game can run really well with SAMP. Like, this can be in the background with Samp will not lag whatsoever, except when the game, when somebody calls a timeout, it may lag for a few seconds, but other than that, there's no lag. I'm not going to open Samp to illustrate that, but I'm going to take my word through that. So there you go, guys, So for those guys that wonder, what is this NBA 2K18 thing about? You know the answer. And also, I guess the last one is, Rashon, why haven't you bought NBA 2K19 yet? Well, the reason is because, like I said before, it takes so long to finish an individual season. It takes 1,000 hours to finish a season. So if I were to get 2K19, I'd basically start over, and that would be a bit demoralizing, to be honest with you. So I would just wait till 2K20. Are there ads? Holy shit. Well, there you go. That's it. You got a question you can ask me, bro. It's dead. Let me go to my season, my league here. Fucking faggots. Backfire, man. Okay, so let me go to my season here. So let's go on this guy, right?